Interesting.
And we're live.
Yow! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our second map for the Platinum UGC Playoffs Grand Finals. Very exciting here. Menace to Society versus Street Hoops Esports. If Menace to Society, who took the first map, if they win here, that will be Street Hoops' first loss, and in this double elimination playoffs, I mean, we'll have to have a second best of three, which should be terrible. That would be such a bad thing to happen for the viewers. I'm just kidding. I would be pretty stoked to see more maps between these guys. Right now, though, Menace to Society, wow, crushing face on that middle point.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Swiftwater got forward there. He's already across the point just as Street Hoops was coming out. And that's a full wipe right there. They're going to be able to... Are they going to take it like all the way in? Wow.
Wow. This might be a quick 4 rounds, potentially. Just saying. Kappa, that's Squid, using that pretty boy's pocket pistol. Here's the Uber on him. No criticola, but he is getting right on top of Mang. Gonna deal the damage there. Oh, brings out the sword as well. He wants some heads. Oh, he takes out Deadbolt. The sniper is here as well. Paragon, that was like a consolation snipe there. And oh, man. Yeah.
A minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, they better... be a little keep a few more players alive here at mid this time.
You know, eXtine, when I was watching Squid's stream, he said he didn't like people who use the pocket pistol, referring to it as, and I quote, the tryhard gun. So it looks like he's pulling out all the stops for the finals.
Yeah, you know, you got to do what it takes to win sometimes. Can't hate on a brother for doing that. And Kappa right now gonna flank around Deadbolt. Early kill on Sweater, that's nice, but he is down. This match, this action right here on mid is guaranteed to be crazy again. Platinum up top, throwing some damage down, but a bit better on the frags for Street Hoops. Do what now? Limping away though, 66 health. Pretzel still out here. The sentry gun is doing pretty good work, but Kappa, that is Squid, was right on top of it. Big shot on Spamfest, and Kappa just wants to keep going crazy. Got to deal with this mini sentry now. Somebody else takes it out, thankfully. And MTS, another successful middle fight. Mang didn't survive that time, but neither did Harblu. So that's going to be a little bit helpful for Street Hoops. If you're just joining us, Menace to Society, a bit of an upset in that first map, a payload map. We expected that to go to Street Hoops, but right now out to a quick start as they got the first round in a minute 20 and are in control of the middle here on this second round here on Granary. We will be playing till 4 or the conclusion of this 30-minute half. Wow. Yeah, Marissa, 2 huge snipes right there. Takes down Paragon and then Mang. So what I was talking about, you know, Street Hoops having their medic up and being able to be at an even Uber stance has been wiped out as Harblu 70%. Shouldn't be too much longer for him to get a charge. They're going to get aggressive here anyway. Sweater gets 1 kill to open things up, but they're just going to push. Fathom on the point. Oh, flare shot on Deadbolt. And that is going to be it for the second round here. We are, I mean, they're halfway there.
3 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe, so far in.
Oh, man.
Squid got a 6 kill on the last middle. Just
It's
throwing it out.
Absolutely demoralizing for Street Hoops going into Thursday night. I mean, you got beat on payload, getting crushed on CP. If we get there, then, you know, what are they going to pick? They still have a chance. I mean, not completely over yet, but they need to bring out some big guns and make a difference here in this 5 CP Granary fight. The critical is out. He has it. And he does get Ash taken down, though, and Harblu gets sniped by Paragon. That is going to be a big boost. But, you know, if can Street Hoops get as large of a middle win and then utilize that advantage in the same way? Still remains to be seen.
They have the player advantage right now, only 3 up for MTS, and they're slowly going down here. The difference I saw this mid is that Dewatna took the same route that Sweater was doing, which is through the garage, and that got him there actually just pretty fast and was able to spam out right away, and that seemed to help him out to win that mid.
Now, sometimes when we've had some really crazy 6s Granary matches, we see these points get flipped back and forth, fast captures on both sides, and definitely Street Hoops, at least for their morale, could use a quick win here if they get an effective Uber charge. But they, you know, Harblu is pretty far tucked away. It's taken them a while to get here. I don't even really see, you know, most of their players. Not really formed up here. Oh, and Squid comes in, forces the early pop, that critical, yeah. You can't risk that. They had to pop it, don't drop it. Platinum down and a few other players down for mix-up, but not that many. Street Hoops is going to get the point here, but Hardblue about to get that Uber charge. Lost a lot of his clutch players that he could use it on. Street Hoops should just push the tempo right now. And they're coming.
Yeah, they got +5. They need to get really aggressive right here before those respawns get up.
Hardblue forced to use, and Street Hoops backs up a little bit. They just need to stay in here. About to have that charge. Deadbolt goes down, Ash goes down. Now a kill on Hardblue and Pretzel. The Uber is popped. This is looking a lot more positive. Oh God, Ubered the Spy for a second there. Not gonna matter. Street Hoops, oh no, man, they might be getting shut down here.
Minigun going big, taking out, there it goes.
There it is. Wow, yeah, Mang with a crossbow, Paragon, some nice snipes in that. That was good. That has gotta be a little bit reassuring for Street Hoops there.
Yeah, the other interesting thing I see here is that Sweater's actually getting whipped, which is kind of unusual. Most demo men don't like being whipped for the early rollouts, and that seems to be helping him out getting there as well.
I'd just like to say that last round was all Dewatna. Like, he did so much damage. If he can do that again, that's what Street Hoops needs.
We are 2-1 right now with MTS in the advantage. Kappa drinks that critical again and then gets sniped down. Big jump around. Hardblues might be in some trouble here. Stuck in a weird spot. Hardblue now have to back up. Ash is up top, but hasn't turned around to deal with Hardblue. Oh man, Huey Lewis has got some mail for Sweater. Hardblue gets out. There's still a jump coming around. Soldier is still chasing actually, but not much health. Ash has to pick up the pack. Hardblue skirts away with 75%. That is pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta call it Noko right there. Had a really great play.
Did Ash just kill himself trying to bomb Hardblue there? That's yeah.
That's a Hardblue play?
Yeah,
Hardblue
yeah. Hardblue did that. Took a page out of his own playbook.
Yeah, but Ash on mid. I'm not sorry, not Ash. Noko on mid there. Backstabbed Dewatna and then gunned down Mang.
And as soon as Paragon gets that snipe on Kappa, that is Squid. We actually have another pause here, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're getting so many pauses here, but we're having a good time, and we still have got some game to play. Street Hoops, bringing back some faith. It's not all over after that first round.
You have to say 3 caps in about 7.5 minutes was not what I was expecting. I was really expecting to grind it out kind of a game. But they have been definitely proving that wrong. Both teams playing fast and furious. So basically, whoever wins mid, taking it all the way through. They're basically all in. And yeah, Dewatna, those last 2 mids, Dewatna, as Mustard said before, having a lot more presence, getting a lot more damage out. And that's what's been helping Street Hoops turn the corner here. Yeah,
Granary is definitely kind of a crazy map where when one of the most exciting things about the map, but when the field is open, you can swing it really quick. You can keep that pressure on and utilize it to just go from being on mid to taking last and pushing it on last and doing it. You also get kind of these slow down tempos where things aren't really happening quite as quick, and we get to some chokes and teams kind of poking each other off at each other. And we haven't quite seen that yet, but that is what it was exciting about Granary. I still love it when you have those slower moments, but then you just get that fast back and forth, and we've had super fast third rounds. So that's been exciting so far. We'll see if Street Hoops can just stay in the game here. They have that middle point under control. They have an uber disadvantage right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how Hardblue and his team approach that. You know, they're probably going to get aggressive here, especially if they figure out that Mang's pretty far back, if the spawns are pretty far back. Another thing that, you know, it is relevant in sixes, still definitely super relevant in a Highlander. Really, I mean, honestly, we talked about the different formats. We probably have some newer viewers with us today. Both formats of TF2 are great, and the ways that you have to play it and pace yourself definitely overlap. In Highlander, one of the mechanics, again, is present in sixes, but just is, you know, it's besides looking at numbers. It's where are the players that you have. That's more important than how many players you have. If you have 6 players at the point that you're trying to capture, and the other team has 9, but 6 of those players just spawned and are all the way back, then you actually have a 6v3 fight going on. You don't have a 6v9 fight going on. It's a 6v3, and you're going to win that fight. And by the time those other six players have come up, you've probably killed those other 3 players. So it could either be a 6v6, or once you've capped that point, you go a little bit defensive, you get those respawns, and then you push in 9v6. So that's going to be really important here. And if MTS can sniff that out, then they're just going to keep pushing here. The pause situation, especially right here as well. You got Paragon on the side, just got a huge snipe on Kappa Squid right by that choke. Does Platinum go further in, or do they just kind of back up for a little bit, reconnect with the heavy weapons guy? They definitely could just go crazy and Uber and push in aggressively here. So it's still a lot to play for here, and pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing the resumption of the game here.
Hey, eXtine, I just want to throw out that Noko just commented in the chat that apparently NFO servers are having difficulties across the board. That's been actually a common issue this season. I think what's happening is they actually have DDoSers targeting them, like targeting all of their servers. I guess someone who just holds a grudge against a relatively innocent server company. That's a shame. So hopefully that can be worked out.
Yeah, it could definitely not necessarily be, a problem of us getting targeted or people hating on TF2. Sometimes people try to DDoS server providers, which I don't know. I don't get it. But some people like to try to ruin other people's fun. I like to try to have fun. That's my outlook on life.
I really have to commend MTS. I mean, until that very last round, it feels like Street Hoops has just not been playing their game. They've been playing almost a little bit nervous. It feels like they're just I don't know, maybe it's just because it's such a big match, and some of them are relatively new to this level. I mean, it feels like Street Hoops is like, oh my god, this is the biggest match of our lives, and MTS is like, oh my god, it's a Monday, Like, the difference is just so palpable.
But I got to bring it to Street Hoops, though, is that they came down, they lost 2 rounds, and it looks like we're back up here. But
yeah, we are back live here.
2 rounds in 3 minutes, and they came back to win a round. I mean, that's a really difficult thing to do with all of that momentum going against you.
Cold's HUD, our production guy, is probably messed up here, as pauses tend to kind of do funky things. But Hardloop did use that Uber charge there, and had to pop it just for safety's sake. Street Hoops look like they're holding this off right now, and they did get a pick on Hardloop there. Paragon is down, so they're going to have to watch out for Marissa. But she's on choke side, so if they can just get in there and kill Marissa, then they don't have to worry about that sniper. Some players for Street Hoops pretty far forward, but they're not really in control of that yard yet, which is crucial turf in this Granary match. Marissa actually was like behind Spamfest in a weird spot, trying to get some shots. Spamfest finally was like, oh, there's a sniper here, and some nice shotguns to take her out.
Noko got Ming in return with the revolver.
Oh, man. And looks like MTS has kind of recovered their control of the yard. And this is kind of what I was talking about in terms of Granary sometimes getting a bit down tempo. Now that MTS is in control of the yard, they hold that second point. Street Hoops holds middle, but they don't really have any territory to be super aggressive here. In fact, they are all just completely on that middle point. Nobody is past it. Nobody's in garage. Nobody's in yard. They are pretty far back right now.
Yeah, it looks like Street Hoops is just opting to hold high ground and wait for them to push in. Well, actually, looks like they transferred back down lower, but...
Yeah, and they are coming... MTS is coming out through lower with Kappa again using some interesting loadouts. I'd like to see some fresh stuff, though, so good for him. Good to see it.
And looks like Street Hoops is just content to give up this midpoint, get their Uber charge, and then push straight back in.
Yeah, Cappy, for the record, is using that babyface blaster and the pistol. Duwatna getting some frags out here right now. And, yeah, the situation is definitely opening up here. Hard to say who has the edge, although MTS did get a retake on middle. I think they are going to lose it pretty swiftly here. A lot of players down for MTS.
Yeah, that was a really great play. They basically just gave it up, pushed back in, and then Deadbolt chased down with the combo. You had Ash go behind them. They just kind of pinched the combo in garage and just kind of picked them off one by one. Yeah,
again, we are having a little bit of... oh, it looks like we got another pause as well. The HUD definitely gets weird after pauses. A reload scheme updates it, but it doesn't continue to update constantly. I love the Team Fortress team, but they have been told about this, and that's about all I can say about that. We could remind them. We could remind them.
Does the HUD reload scheme include hats? Because if I don't think it includes hats and then making money, I don't know if
they're not working on it.
I gotta say, man, the reason. Oh, never mind. We're back. I'll talk later.
Yeah, we are live here again. Let's Street Hoops getting some good frags here too. Another pause is going to follow that up immediately. Unfortunately, we're having some server issues here tonight, but unfortunately, that's just the way the internet works. And Duwetna onto a nice kill streak here too. It's a 7, I believe.
And I like this push out into right yard from MTS, taking that ground back, not letting Street Hoops get too close to that second point.
Yeah, that's a smart play, and something that you got to feel that Hard Blue is probably contributing to this strategical discussion. You can't just, if you continue to just let them poke up in yard, especially in Highlander, the team is just going to get more and more entrenched as that engineer is like, oh yeah, well I'll just move my teleporter exit here, and I'll just put my dispenser here, and my sentry gun here, and it gets harder to root them out of that. And a long-term hold of the second point really comes down to keeping control of the yard, and that's what they're going to maintain. They're going to make it so that Street Hoops has to use a lot of energy to take control of the yard. And that'll make it even harder to take control of the point, which is really what it's all about. Colombian Gamer in an interesting spot, using that cloak and dagger, which provides infinite cloak for the spies as long as they stay put. So he just sees everything that's going on right now, and they're not going to find him up there. Pretty much can guarantee it. This is that situation where he's not going for stabs, he's not getting the frags, but the information that he's providing to his team is invaluable. We'll see though if that can allow them to crack this defense. I don't know. Noko goes down, but that's a class that you can just throw out there. The spy trying to make something happen, and Street Hoops right now playing really defensive. But I can guarantee you, if this is a competitive setting, definitely is. Not a very large prize on hand, but Hard Blue and MTS are playing to win. And while they're holding second point, not middle, they have a 1-round advantage. Looks like they're moving up a little bit closer now. Hard Blue in an interesting position, but MTS is going to be fairly comfortable to play this slow. I mean, no reason not to. They have a round advantage right now.
Yeah, it looks like Street Hoops is giving them ground, and MTS is going to be coming in right now.
Platinum with a big jump across. He gets dealt with fairly quickly. Ubercharge popped for Street Hoops, while MTS able to keep theirs. So they backed up. They might rotate though, as Squid is going crazy right now. It's gotten 2 kills, picks up the health pack again, gets another one, throws a taunt out on Spamfest, and that was pretty much Squid.
Well, Squid did the work with the kills. Platinum did a good job of distracting over the top. I didn't see who forced Mang. That was a really great job. They kind of pushed, and I thought they were going to pop. They just buffed their flank classes. They got Mang to pop, and then they were able to take the point free. They didn't even pop. They can push into second here, and they have 50% advantage. That was a really great play by MTS there.
Yeah, and Marissa gets a snipe on Skyroller to start this off as well. So the heavy's down, the soldier's down, even the spy is down. More players going down. That is Duwatna getting sniped by Marissa. Kappa's going around swinging the sword at people and taunting. Hard Blue gets Sentry down. They're just going to keep the push alive though, as it's just Mang, just the medic. And that is going to take things though. Mang tries to be noble about it, tries to get out there, gets a frag. That is going to take us to a 3-1 scoreline. One more round will do it for MTS. Ooh-wee.
I know Highlander doesn't ban a lot of weapons, but is anyone else feeling the babyface blaster ban for next season? Because that was just ridiculous.
Hey, it's a whole nother discussion. How come Deadbolt's not going crazy with it? Squid is an amazing scout, and he's going huge. I think he's going huge regardless of whatever loadout he's running. I like the weapons. That's another discussion. Let's see if MTS can take this mid fight again. If they do it in convincing fashion, they could just roll all the way through. Street Hoops has to stand strong. Paragon getting a snipe on Pretzel, the heavy weapons guy. That's going to be nice. But Platinum and Squid are still going rampant. Oh, the scout is right on top of the medic. Deadbolt, gotta put a stop to this. Gotta stop Squid from another taunt kill. And there we go. Not a taunt kill, but taunting over a kill. Man, Meng's got the Uber charge and Street Hoops with that middle point.
Now, I just want to point it out right now. I jump on Sizzling Stats, and Squid right now is at 22 frags. The closest person to him is 15 with Marissa. The closest person on Street Hoops is at 12. Oh, he is getting those frags right now.
Granary, extremely dangerous map. We'll have to get some consultation from Cold, you know, if this map continues this way over, you know, if there's any structure to the maps next week, or if these teams could just pick the same maps. That's a discussion for after this map finishes up, because, you know, we could still have the Street Hoops come back and force a map 3. Unfortunate for them, they didn't think it was going to be like this. They thought they were going to have Swiftwater in the bag, and then you could just basically throw Granary. But right now, they are fighting for their life here on Granary. MTS just a second ago, they were holding 2 for so long, then they've counter-pushed all the way back to last. Right now, the red Uber has been used. Hardblue keeps his Uber very long, milks it so well. Now Sweater pushing out, has to get around this corner, does do a bit of damage. It's going to back up, but that worked out just fine for Hardblue and company.
Yeah, it just looks like they traded a couple players in that. They exchanged his Ubers. Now it's just about getting that DM, getting those kills. And Street Hoops is a little bit far back for that, but they're trying to peek here to get that damage in. It's starting to take a little bit more ground. They might be able to take this if they...
Yeah.
It doesn't...
Yeah, they lost Skyrolla pretty quickly there to a nice trap. And now there's just, I mean, there's no follow-up. I mean, who are you going to push in there?
Oh, Paragon takes down Hardblue right there.
That now is a big pick. That'll really open things up. They need to rotate. They need to approach from a different way right now. They're too predictable. There's just a bunch of stickies on the door, and they're not really moving.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the passive play that comes out of Street Hoops, is they can be aggressive, I think, when they get desperate, but they have full charge right now. Hardblue is down, and no one is doing damage.
Yeah, I got to call him out for that a little bit. I mean, it's exactly that. Hardblue and MTS are winning for a lot of reasons this match, but they basically just let Hardblue respawn there before they pushed in. That was a good 5 seconds, and if you look over on MTS, there's 3 players with fat buffs, one of them being Pretzel, the heavy weapons guy, so... You know, they've allowed that to happen, and he's going to be a lot harder to dislodge. Right now, you know, Noko's gone down, but Marissa and company are getting big frags, and Street Hoops are down to 5 players left, and they got to back up.
Squid was hiding in drop down that entire time, and he came in right after the Uber and killed Dewatna.
A nice how do you do. Yeah, this is tough for Street Hoops, and I'm not sure, you know, if they play another CP map on Thursday, whether it's Granary or Goalie Wash, they're gonna have another difficult time with MTS. They gotta bone up on a lot of stuff here. MTS is really seem to be the master of tactics on Granary, playing this very well. Marissa with another snipe on Paragon. Marissa is going huge too. A 10-point advantage on the scoreboard between her and Paragon. Marissa gets thrown on top of the crate. Okay, I'll snipe from there.
And the Street Hoops doing a really good job here. They getting the frags.
Yeah, and Meng picked up an Ubersaw kill there as well. They're still in control of middle, so that means that they can just keep walking forward here. This is exactly what they need to do. Keep the pressure up and get a quick capture here on the second point.
They just need to keep rolling through. They got 4 seconds until those respawns come in.
Yeah, that is exactly what they need to do here. Don't care about that. Just get in here and get set up. Deadbolt does have that critical out. Can he get a kill on Pretzel? Dewatna has thrown some frags out, but not too much yet. If Meng could just stay in here and stay alive for the next few percentage points, keep Dewatna up. Yes, he does. Spamfest low. That's just the engineer. Ash is low, but he's up top. And he's safely secured, raining down some damage. Dewatna's got to get the frags. Oh no, Squid's in here. And Hardblue lands 2 saws before he gets sniped by Paragon. Oh my god, the defense is standing strong though right now as Kappa going huge. Oh my god, with the sword, the taunt. Is he going to die? Oh, 3 health. Wow. Just stands there for a second too. It's like, oh, I thought I was dead. Oh man, what swag from Menace to Society.
Wow,
what
what a
swag
hold.
from Squid.
Yeah, really, really well played defense there, and MTS are really putting on a show. And Street Hoops, you know, they've had their moments. They're obviously a very strong team, but they are up against a monster on MTS on a CP map.
Yeah, but they have 30% advantage right now, so they got to make sure they use this right away. Oh, and they're getting the kills right now. Demo down, heavy down.
Good corner round by Skyrolla, which is more what they need to do. Classic Highlander
Spike
action.
cap.
Oh! Colombian Gamer, that is pretty big. It looked like Street Hoops were making positive strides on that push anyways, using the heavy in a traditional manner and making things happen. The scoreline is now 3-2. Once again, MTS just need one more round, put that score to 4, and they got this. They will force a second best of 3 Thursday night, still same start time, but Street Hoops, one more, they could tie it up. Then the time doesn't matter so much because they would go to a golden cap scenario if they don't get a 4-3. But obviously they need 2 more rounds here, so Street Hoops better play this solid once again.
Scout down and demo down for MTS. This looks like it's going to go Street Hoops' way.
Wow, that is a big wipe. Oh my god, Noko comes in, gets a stab on Mang. That is pretty huge, but still, Street Hoops, if they keep the pressure up, these spawn times are so long that they could easily get a capture here. They have so many players. You got to get in that door. They have 6 players here, while it's really just 2 here for Menace to Society. And this forward spawn, once you control the second point, this forward spawn is so good. You're so close. Now they can really set things up. They did lose Paragon there, but as long as they can just keep this point, it's not too big of a deal. Oh, good pyro jump down from Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis, can he get a flare shot to kill Harblue here? A lot of pressure on Harblue, but Harblue, 60 health, staying alive.
Yeah, but they got a big player advantage. They're +2 right now, and they're getting really aggressive on that right-hand side. They're going to try to control his point. Ash going down on Harblue on the point, trying to get the cap time off.
Wow. Harblue with needles and staying alive. Duwatna stays back, and they're gonna have to call that push off, wait for some spawns, and then push in with this Uber charge. They did just get a nice snipe on Marissa. Unfortunately, Paragon goes down. I was gonna say, needs to kind of stay up so that you can utilize that advantage. They'll both spawn at the same time. Hardblue about to have an Uber charge, again doing a fantastic job just staying alive and dodging. They're gonna push this right here. Heavy round the corner. Mang is not with Skyrolla, so Skyrolla is going to go down. He's with Duwatna. Duwatna, this Uber was a little bit later. They've gotten some good work so far.
Harblue goes down to Deadbolt there. Gonna give big advantage to Mang. They need to get aggressive off this.
Yeah, Street Hoops rotates. Paragon goes down, and now maybe not. Now I would say let's just post up and get this Uber charge. You don't want to like lose Mang in this exchange. And speaking of Mang getting attacked by a spy, Platinum is upstairs, but nobody else in Street Hoops territory. Now I say just use that Uber advantage. Get ready to go again, and then you can have a strong push in with that Uber. This is a really tense match right now as Mix-Up, you know, MTS doing it. I was looking at Platinum. They have such a good counter potential that if they get a good wipe on Street Hoops, they could move in far and fast. But Street Hoops, you know, needs to tie this game. If they tie the game, then that next round doesn't really matter if it goes to the limit. But otherwise, if they can't tie it, then Hardblue and MTS can just post up and play defensive. The push is coming in. There is a back cap going on. Street Hoops is losing some players. Mang taken out by Platinum. The second point secure for now, but it's just Huey Lewis. How big can a pyro go? He's gonna have to take out Squid. No, Huey Lewis taken out. And that second capture point, that spawn is such a big difference. And Street Hoops has like barely any players up, so it's definitely gonna be in danger of losing that middle point as well. I mean, Hardblue isn't really charging anybody, but at least for the moment, I don't know, maybe Street Hoops will settle up and be able to defend middle here.
Yeah, they got the player advantage right now. They have the Uber advantage because Hardblue wasn't healing anybody. They're going to be able to hold, and they're already taking back ground, trying to get a little bit closer to second. They're taking both right and left yard, it looks like.
I'm very disappointed that Street Hoops did not go crits here because they're running low on time, and Duwatna's been playing amazingly. I felt like crits would be perfect here, but whatever.
Yeah, that is an interesting call out. Could understand both cases. We'll have to see how their decision works out for them. They need to, you know, there's been a very strong hold on the second point by MTS in the past here on this map. Street Hoops already control the yard, so that's a strong position there. They have that forward. Colombian Gamer looks like went down somewhere, you know, probably gave him some intelligence, but did get lost. Marissa snipes Paragon, that's nice, while Platinum trades for Skyrolla. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that, however, though, due to the importance of Heavy in this format. Deadbolt going down. Hardblue kind of, oh yeah, under a lot of pressure actually, was down to 11, then goes over to Lunchbox, the side health pack by himself, to get back to a better place. Good pressure here, a lot of pressure on Hardblue again as Ash jumps in. Hardblue down to 50, however, and Street Hoops not really presenting an overall plan here. It's been a little bit scattered in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, they tried to get a push over on the Lunchbox side about a minute ago. Kind of got shut down. Hardblue rotated over. Platinum killed Skyroll. And they just haven't been able to seem to get anything together. So they both kind of have been holding on to Uber. MTS content just to kind of wait for them to push in.
And Pretzel just threw Platinum a sandwich. Definitely is a big help to keeping your roaming soldier healthy. And Colombian actually was like, dude, I just need to pick Platinum. Chases him around in Lunchbox, but doesn't even get the job done. And now that Uber as well, ineffective in capturing the point for Street Hoops. They're gonna get pushed back a bit. Oh man, Skyrolla taken down. I thought maybe that was a good corner ambush, but not able to get a ton of damage there. Ash going down, and the clock is ticking here on Street Hoops. Squid looking for the flank here, and nobody spotted him until he's right up in their face. Some good damage. He's backing off a little bit now. His back is to that door, but MTS taking over this yard now, and they're looking to post up again. We saw them have an excellent defense from this position, and that's just part of Granary here. It's very territorial. You know, you want to move up bit by bit, and MTS now defensively have moved up again.
Yeah, it just seems that any time that Street Hoops is getting to push together, or at least the last couple, have been really not, they don't have all their players in it. In MTS, they're all playing around each other. They're able to defend it really well. They collapse on Uber as soon as they're done. Street Hoops just bleeding players right now.
Yeah, they're having some issues. You got to make sure that they don't get desperate here. This Uber exchange is going to be pretty clutch here. Right now, a Pyro and a Soldier gets behind lines. Fathom doing a great job of just reflecting and keeping Mang locked down. Mang, oh no, not going to be able to get away. Can't round that corner. That means that Hardblue is going to be alive to just keep the heals out and keep this train healthy and running. A jump in by Ash, but this is more just kind of irrelevant. You know, MTS has already won the fight. Now they're going for a pick on Hardblue. And you know they've gotten a few frags, but this is still a challenging scenario here.
Squid on the soda popper. He's determined to try every potentially overpowered scout unlock that he can before they get banned.
I like to see it. You know, MTS, their back is kind of up against the wall. They're in control of the second point, so they're not totally desperate here. But with 2 minutes left, you know, they just have to hold. They have that round advantage, and if they happen to give up a round here, they're just going to go to another half, and they'll be comfortable with their chances there. So MTS definitely feeling good. Paragon with a big drop on Hardblue. I didn't quite see that, but that is a huge loss. We'll see too if that soda popper is effective. You know, perhaps that might you know, not be the most effective weapon for Squid and hinder his chances here. He's actually already down.
Right there.
And they captured the point. Now Skyroller running forward. Hardblue's coming out. Hardblue's gonna fight. Marissa on the right-hand side. Marissa with a huge snipe on Deadbolt. That is the scout. If the scout had gotten on the point, that cap would have been quick. A minute 20 left. Mang just spawning and going with the crits Krieg. That is a smart decision here. As I was just doing the math, and I was like, I don't know if they have time to use an Uber charge there. So they're going to go crits here. This is the first time that we're going to see this on this map, but it can be very effective here, especially, I mean, Highlander format. If you get a couple frags, that is pretty clutch. Hardblue, I believe he has time to get an Uber charge here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Street Hoops is struggling to get kills. I think Crits is going to help them a lot on last if they're able to get the kills.
They're going to need to go quick here. Any extra time gives Hardblue an opportunity to get that Uber charge and that invulnerability, which obviously will protect against these crit stickies that are about to come in. The stickies get cleared. Here comes the crits. He's got to hit Hardblue here. Hardblue at 95%. Take it out! Three crit sticky kills.
You need to get that gun.
And the heavy. Oh, Huey Lewis right behind with the axe extinguisher. Huey Lewis, oh, the last man standing, however. Huey Lewis figured out, and that is going to be it. Wow, Platinum with a 5 kill.
I just want to point out that Platinum actually out-damaged Sweater that game and did the second most damage in the server behind Duwatna as Soldier in Highlander. Platinum
absolutely huge. He had a great round on Swiftwater, and OMG, that's going to be our best of 3 for the night, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back on Thursday night to settle this. MTS just dominant here against the Street Hoops esports that haven't lost all season. Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Please join us again. I won't be there. Kip will be handling the hosting, but she's a badass caster. Sigafoo, can you make it again? We'd love to have you.
I absolutely can.
Excellent. I hope all you viewers out there join us as well. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Let's get some final thoughts from you guys. Mustard, and what do you think, man?
Well, I really think that came down to Mix-Up, first of all, having a lot, absolutely no respect for Street Hoops and just pushing constantly. And second of all, the flank from MTS, especially Platinum and Squid. They just completely shine. Looking at the stats, Squid top fragged in the entire game, 35 and 18. Platinum got 31 kills, and he out-damaged his own demo man. Duwatna did really well on the other team. He actually did the most damage in the server, but it just didn't always translate into kills. You saw some really nice Uber pushes this time around from Street Hoops as Duwatna got some nice kills, and essentially every round that they won was on the back of that. But in the rounds they lost, it felt like the Uber fights were kind of a stalemate, and then on the flank, Platinum and Squid would just run in and kill literally everything with their DM.
Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic play from MTS, really showing how to manage things on this 5 control point map and in this UGC setting, doing a really fantastic job. We're going to try to pull an interview in here real quick. Also just got some shout outs about different topics. This season, the players playing for medals, the honor of being the platinum winners. But next season, UGC, they have a community prize pot they're putting together, trying to raise $5,000 to be split up among the teams in the top 3. That is pretty exciting. They're going to have some they're going to have some things split up, 50%, 30%, 20%, transparent. Should be pretty awesome, and very excited about that. So for our live viewers, we're going to have an interview coming up in just a second. For our VOD viewers, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I am eXtine. We will see you next time. Yeah. Yeah.